Good evening to you, Princess Zalie. My name is Mrs. Comnick, or you can also refer to me as Princess Comnick because, as you know, us princesses always have to stick together. So I just wanted to say congratulations on graduating. That is so wonderful. I know this year has been really crazy with all of the changes in the world, but you are a superstar, and I'm so glad you are using your light to just make the world a better place. I did find this really wonderful story, and I was hoping I could read it to you, and you could let me know about the wonderful person who wrote it and who inspired it, because I really enjoy this story. Okay, and the story I have is called Zalie and the Silver Box. Okay, and if you don't mind, I'd like to read it to you. Zalie had a box, but it was no ordinary box, because Zalie was so uniquely amazing. She had a special box just for her. It was a bright silver box, and it had a normal little screen, but sometimes that screen would do very uncommon things. She had been having an unusual and particular day, so it wasn't surprising that when she got to the computer to start playing games, she spilled her drink on the keyboard. Zalie quickly grabbed a towel to wipe it up, and as she wiped, she hit the O, and a very strange thing happened. Zip, whirl, rattle. Suddenly, her grandma appeared. There she was, swimming underneath the water in what appeared to be the ocean. Her grandma said, "Well, shoot fire and a red fuzzy mule. Look who it is. Come on in, Zalie. The water's perfect." Zalie responded, "I don't know how, Grandma." Grandma replied, "Just dive on in." So Zalie dove in, and then the next thing she knew, she was in the ocean with her grandma. It was quite an amazing experience. Zalie swam up and gave her grandma a hug. Just as she was about to turn around, the cutest little octopus swam up to them. To Zalie's surprise, she introduced himself. "Blop, blop, 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 blop. Hello," he said. "My name is Ollie the octopus. What is your name?" Zalie laughed at the little bubbles coming out of his mouth when he talked. It was as if he had swallowed a bubble machine. "My name is Zalie, and this is my grandma. We're having the best adventure today." Ollie looked at her and sadly said, "I wish I could have adventures with a friend, but I don't have any friends. They all just laugh at me and make fun of me all the time." He looked down at the ocean floor. Zalie could see he was trying not to cry. "Why do they make fun of you?" Zalie asked. "Well, do you know how many legs an octopus is supposed to have?" Ollie inquired. "Why, yes, I do. 8, she replied. Ollie started spinning and said, "I'll give you one guess how many I have. Wait, no, I'll spin and you can count them." As he spun, Zalie and her grandma shouted out the numbers and counted in unison. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. As they finished saying the number 7, Ollie stopped and once again looked down, embarrassed. "Yes, 7. 7 legs. That's all I've got," he cried. "All the kids at school count my legs and make fun of me because I was born without the right number. They laugh when I swim because I swim funny.
He paused, waiting for Zalie and her grandma to laugh and make fun of him too. He didn't look up, waiting for the familiar sounds of snickers and giggles, waiting on the name calling to start. "We could be best friends," Zalie exclaimed. She quickly swam over to him and stuck her foot out and said, "Count my toes, Ollie. Count them. I promise you won't find 5. Ollie snapped his eyes open and looked at her foot and counted. 1, 2, 3. "You only have 3, he said. Ollie floated next to her. Zalie said, "Yes, I only have 3 toes on this foot. I call it my little foot because it's smaller than the other one. I was born this way too." Ollie split a grin across his cute little face and looked with wonder at the joy on Zalie's face. Zalie merrily said to him, "Let's swim together, and you can show us around." Ollie responded, "Yes, I will show you my favorite reefs." He took off like a flash, but when he swam, he rammed into Zalie's grandma. "Oh, oops, sorry. I didn't mean to bump into you. It happens when I swim fast. I'm sorry," he apologized. His face turned red and he stopped swimming immediately. Grandma swam to Ollie and put her arm around him and reassured him. "Oh, it's quite all right, Ollie. Being unique and different is awesome, but sometimes others don't know what to do or say when they encounter someone who has an unusual look about them. You'll have to be bold and courageous. Sometimes you even have to explain to those you meet that being different can be quite amazing," she continued. "Sometimes things even need to be changed a little bit just to fit you," Zalie said. "I have 2 different size shoes because my little foot needed a smaller shoe. I didn't like it at first, but now I know I'm rare and marvelous. Plus, I rock these shoes." She squealed this as she did a little jig in the water to show off her little foot. "I can make a soccer goal as quick as anyone else with this little foot." "But I can't swim in races at school because I lost Ollie, sorry. Because I bump into all of the other fish and they laugh at me. Then I ruin the race for everyone," he said sadly. "I wish more than anything that I can race. I think I could beat all the other fish because I'm really fast," he exclaimed. Let's think on this," Zalie pondered. She thought for a moment and then yelled excitedly, "Yes! I bet we could make your lane wider so you could bob back and forth and then you wouldn't bump into anyone else. Then maybe you could win the race," she said to Ollie. Zalie, her grandma, and Ollie laughed and tittered together as they swam on exploring. Ollie asked the 2 of them, "Do you think you could go with me to ask about the lane being bigger? I'm a little scared to go by myself." "Of course," they both replied, and off they swam, bobbing and jolting and bumping into things, laughing as they went. After the changes were approved and made at the race site, Zalie and her grandma floated, waiting for the races to begin. Zalie decided to swim over to give Ollie a pep talk prior to the race. "Okay, Ollie, you can do this," she said to him. "Just focus on the race. Don't think about being different or the other fish. Just swim as fast as you can. The lane is wide enough now so that you can get to the finish line without interrupting anyone else," she reassured. Ollie gulped and bubbled. "Okay, Zalie, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna rock it out of the starting line," he exclaimed. "We'll be waiting right here when you finish, Ollie," Zalie told him. When the horn blazed, indicating the race to start, Ollie swam with everything he had, bobbing and jolting as he went. When he crossed the finish line, he looked from side to side, and he was all alone. He turned around and saw the other fish were crossing much later than him. Oops, sorry, my thing turned off. The official for the race swam up to him smiling from fin to fin. "You won, Ollie, you won," he shouted. The other fish raced up to him. "How did you do that, Ollie? How did you manage to win the race?" Ollie shyly looked down and didn't know what to say. Zalie piped in and exclaimed, "Ollie is different. He only has 7 legs, but that doesn't mean he can't be just like all of you. Everyone is unique and precious. We all have things that make us unlike everybody else," Zalie expressed to the crowd and continued, "Look at Guppy over there. She has the most wonderful stripe on her tail. It's beautiful, and no other guppy has that particular stripe. And Starfish over there has the coolest prickly skin, but the other starfish there doesn't. If we all looked like everyone else, just think how boring life would be," Grandma continued. "I think it's time we had a party to celebrate all of our differences," Grandma shouted. "Yes," said the mama whale. "I've got cake and ice cream," said a giant squid. Papa Octopus then asked the crowd, "How about we each take the time to tell each other what makes us exceptionally special?" And so the party went on for hours. Each of the fish explained to the others what was uniquely different and amazing about each one. As Zalie and her grandma slowly swam for home, they could hear little snippets of conversations being had between the fish. "Well, I've got a funny spot on my cheek," said one seahorse. "I found a fin smaller on this side," said the shark. "I don't have any whiskers at all," laughed the seal. Although I gave him whiskers on accident, sorry. Zalie felt so much love in her heart for all the fish, but especially for Ollie. He had helped her remember that it's okay to have a little foot with 3 perfect little toes. She had been wonderfully and exceptionally made, just exactly like she was. "I'm proud of you for sharing your little foot with the others," Grandma told her. "You were very courageous today." Zalie replied, "Thank you, Grandma. I wanted everyone to know that it can hurt someone's feelings when they're made fun of for being different. We actually got to have a party just because we're all uncommon. I had so much fun today, and the best part is we got ice cream and cake too," she explained. As they turned the final corner to head home, Zalie knew in her heart that Ollie would be just fine, and that made her heart smile. She suddenly did not feel so alone, nor did she feel so sad about being different than all of the other fish in the sea. The end. I have to say that I read a lot of children's stories because that's my job, but that's definitely one of my favorites that I've ever read, and it's got a wonderful message. So thank you, Zalie, and your wonderful family for sharing this story with me, and I'm glad I got to attempt to read it and act it out for you guys. And you're right, we are all uniquely fantastic and wonderful, and I'm so glad that you know that and that you can spread that to others. Because, again, that's what princesses do. All right, Princess Zalie, thank you so much for sharing your wonderful talents and your loving heart with the world, and I hope you and your family stay safe and have a wonderful time. And hopefully if you ever come visit our building, you can come and hang out in our room sometime. I'd love to see the wonderful little girl that made this story possible. All right, take care. Bye.